Vulnerability or vulnerable. Now, vulnerability isn't weakness, it's actually holy ground. And it's about returning to what's real. As children, crying is not weakness, it's natural until that moment when it's not. And I remember when I was 7, something that just taught me not to be vulnerable, that moment that I felt really unsafe to be that open. And felt that being vulnerable meant rejection, abandonment, possible abandonment, which in my child's mind meant death. Turns out science shows that humans just feel that way. So I armored up. I learned how to be likable, strong. I did my best to be strategic. Apparently, I'm terrible at that. Um, and somewhere along the line, as I became an adult and learned personal development, I even learned how to use vulnerability like a tool, which wasn't a terrible thing to learn, except for that it actually blocked me from the deepest sense of being real inside of my identity. Now, lately, I've been learning something different, something deeper. Um, my most sacred vulnerability, my divine identity. Whew. Um, Parts of me that I hadn't reconciled. And now that I'm letting go of lies, it is a very painful process. But what's on the other side of the pain is an extraordinary beauty, one that I knew that I was capable of. I knew that was possible in life, but I've had to strip away every layer between me and that beauty that's naturally ingrained in us. There's a quote in the Bible by Paul, and I had to look it up because I don't remember the exact words. I just remember the sentiment, but it says, "My grace is sufficient. My power is made perfect in my weakness." I love that. I super love. God doesn't ask us to perform, He asks us to return. In today's world, science is actually finally catching up to God, at least a little bit. Vulnerability actually builds oxytocin, which is the nature's version of heroin. It is what trust is built on and bonding is built on. And one of the current experts in vulnerability in today's world, her name's Brene Brown. She says that she's known for saying that vulnerability is a birthplace for connection, creativity, and courage. So it's not so much about being undone, which I think is how it feels for most of us, certainly for me when being vulnerable, but it's about being made whole, which I adore and wouldn't fully understand without biblical knowledge. So I guess to start closing this out is that vulnerability isn't so much about emotional exposure, it's more about spiritual integrity. And that's been a really big distinction for me. I get to see vulnerability now as the core of freedom. And it's not always a smooth ride for me, but it's definitely creating more and more freedom in me as I practice it. It's disproving a whole web of lies I've been living by, leaving me seen, like fully chosen by God. Um, and it creates a freedom because there's an ability to be present in moments where I used to perform. And so I will keep returning to the soft, sovereign center, and letting my identity be rooted in perfection, um, of presence that is Christ led in every moment. So even when it doesn't look like the perfection that I think that should be there, it's divine perfection, which is that freedom feels extremely empowering to me. So come on home with me.